Honda's new Civic is bigger and better in some ways than the previous version. But for driving enthusiasts, they'll have to use their imagination. Here's John Sinnott to tell you about it.
How you feel about the new Honda Civic really depends on what you are looking for in a compact car. Do you want reliability and roominess, or do you want lots of performance for your dollar? Or are you greedy and do you want it all? If you are greedy and do want it all, then unfortunately for the enthusiasts, the new Civic abidingly caters to practicality over performance. But it certainly doesn't lack virtue. For the 2001 model, Honda studied Civic owners with regards to everything from seating position to the size of car that would fit into their garages. Like it or not, the direction Honda is headed toward with the new Civic is toward young, single, female buyers and young families who want practicality, not performance. Unfortunately for enthusiasts, it's quite a contrast for those of us who fondly remember some past Civic models, cars which Honda realized only a few years ago had created a cult following. So all you import hot rodders need to brace yourself, and we'll fill you in on what you'll likely miss. The double wishbones are gone and replaced by McPherson struts up front and a complicated rear suspension. There will also be no hatchback. Honda claims the U.S. demand for hatchbacks is only shrinking. You'll notice the difference in handling for sure if you push the car. If you're not that kind of driver, you'll be fine. On the plus side, the space saved with the use of McPherson struts allows the Civic to gain a 5-star safety rating, which most will welcome. This setup also allowed Honda to lengthen the cabin. The 2001 Civic is considered a compact car by EPA measurements, whereas the previous Civic was a subcompact. One of the major advantages of the Civic's new larger interior is more hip, shoulder, and leg room than the previous car, and there's more room than you would expect in a compact car. The larger interior isn't much different than you would expect from an entry-level Honda. It's functional with nothing fancy and maybe a bit of a sporty flair. By the numbers, the new Civic Coupe is over 1.5 cubic feet bigger than its predecessor on the inside, not to mention the room it gained in the trunk. You also get more cargo space thanks to that new rear suspension, which intrudes less into the trunk, and any usable cargo space in a compact is definitely a plus. For 2001, there was a slightly more powerful engine used in the DX and LX versions. Our EX model has a quiet 127 horsepower, 1.7-liter 4. Like most Honda engines, the 1.7 works best with high revs. Add a manual transmission and it becomes fun to drive. But truthfully, it's only faster than the Ford Focus and slower than most cars in its class, including the Neon, Eclipse GT, and Celica GTS. Comparing the new Civic to past models is a logical place to start, so don't get the idea that the 2001 version is a bad car. In fact, with a starting price just shy of $13,000 for the DX Coupe, it's a perfectly good choice. After all, you can't blame Honda for listening to the voice of the majority of its customers. The new Honda Civic is designed to do just that, be a high-volume sales hit for Honda, and we can understand that. Nonetheless, the performance lover in us is still waiting with high anticipation for the new SI version coming early next year. For Auto Week, I'm John Sinnott.
You know, you can forget about the joy of the fall color season as the mark of autumn for me. You can also forget about new television show premieres. Well, except for maybe Auto Week on Speed Vision. The real mark of fall is new car introductions, and they're great. Do you remember when you could go down to dealerships and see butcher paper lining the inside of the windows? I mean, your heart raced. It beat with anticipation. Well, we don't have that anymore. But we do have new car introductions, and that's a good thing. From Cadillac comes the CTS, a real fighter of a BMW. Then comes Corvette. 405 horsepower Corvette? Please. That should be a lot of fun. From Ford, the Thunderbird, and we can only hope that there are no more production woes. From the Japanese, well, there are cars aplenty, whether it's from Lexus, that will have 2 new cars, or Nissan, which has many, or Mitsubishi, or Honda. I mean, they just keep coming. As for the Europeans, well, there are going to be a lot of eyes on Mercedes as well as BMW with its new 7 Series. The styling is certainly something. Yeah, fall is fun. And we didn't even talk about trucks. I can't wait to get out and drive. But wait, there's more. Arturo Keller, vintage car collector, was asked how much it cost for him to show a Mercedes that won the Pebble Beach Best in Show award this year. I really don't know, he said. If I had to count, I wouldn't do it.
For more of the latest automotive news and information, log on to speedvision.com.